Okay, good evening. At 6:30 we will begin our regular monthly meeting. We always begin our meetings with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States and Texas flags. If you'll all please rise. I will ask Director Hessen to lead us in prayer and Director Rogers to lead us in the pledges.
Dear Lord, we just thank you for this day and opportunity to gather. We just thank you for this country that we live in. Just thank you for all the men and women that protect us. Thank you for all the emergency service people that keep us safe, law enforcement in our community. Just thank you for all the blessings, and just thank you for everything you give us. Just give us safe journey home tonight. Just thank you for all the blessings. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's the Texas flag, please.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to these Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Okay, the first item on our agenda tonight is to consider comments from members of the audience, and no one has signed up to speak. So we will go on. The next item is to consider and act upon approval of the minutes of the Board of Directors meeting held on February 17th, 2015. Okay, we have a motion by Director Pearson.
I think there was a couple errors in it.
Okay, hold on just one second. Let's get the motions going, then we'll open for discussion. Okay, thank you. Director Stevens, second, and so Director Carlisle will do the second. Open for discussion. Okay.
There was one part where we referred to the East Montgomery County Republican Women as the East Montgomery County Act. I believe it should have been the East Montgomery County Republican Women
Act.
Act. Yes. But I think we called it the East EMC Republicans Act.
Okay.
As opposed to women. Yeah. And then 26 paid members instead of, I think we said 32. 32? No, sir. 26.
Okay, is there anything else?
26.
26 paid members. Okay, was there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes based with those changes? It's unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda, we are going to stop for a moment. We have some checks to present this evening. We have we have 3 checks to present. The first one we will be presenting is to the Montgomery County Constable Precinct 4's office. That's for the additional cost incurred as a result of the change of the body cameras. The original vendor was no longer providing the ones that were originally submitted to this board for approval, and this is for the difference in that. The second check will go to Montgomery County ESD number 6 for their annual receipt of the grant, and the third one will be a check to the American Legion. It's my understanding that the check has already been received by the American Legion, but it's okay, we will be doing just an honorary check. Okay. So the first one we'll do is Precinct 4, so if you will meet us over here, we will come over and present you with your checks, and then followed by Chief Carter and then the American Legion.
Photoshop in one.
Don't be going to Vegas.
I'm not that good at Photoshop.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. More. 3, 2, 1. Okay, did we say?
Or we all think you did, take the money, you split it in wild.
They got good people. Thank you. All right, yes. You good? We're gonna stay unless y'all want to keep that.
Get on down here. We gotta get the ladies in the picture.
The ladies are always in the
Bridget here, and then we'll be ready.
I think they're making y'all a check or
Yeah, here's your check.
You want to borrow?
Let's just have something to show. Maybe I can Photoshop check and see how about that. Yeah, borrow that's better, thank you.
Well, make sure I get it back. Stand around there.
Hey, look at car jumping all around over there.
Make me nervous now.
Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Carlisle. 3, 2, 1. You think you're out of her right? Now I'll tell you this.
To consider financial bookkeeping, cash flow, and investment reports, and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith, including authorizing the payment of invoices presented or shown in such reports. Good evening, Ms. Kay. Now it's on. If you had the original report, there's not a lot of changes on the supplemental that you were presented tonight. The change in the operating account, we did receive the sales tax, so that total is $6,510,612.21, and that brings your total, which shows on page 3, to $8,359,1627. Page 4 is your cash flow for the checks presented tonight. The balance forward from your original report was $31,868.41. Receipts of $519,856.67, and that does include your sales tax. And disbursements totaling $472,118.02, leaving $79,607.06 in the general operating fund. The rest of the report, the budget versus actual is updated for any February invoices that were paid. That's the only changes that you'll see. And the only other thing is on your debt service, we received an interest check on your Icon CD that matured. It's for $307.82. And that is all the changes, and that's all of my report. Are there any questions? If there's no questions, I would accept a motion to accept it. Okay, thank you, Isadora. Second? Okay, thank you, Martin. So we have a first by Director Rivera and a second by Director Zepeda. Is there any further discussion on the matter? All in favor? All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item is to consider authorizing the bookkeeper to prepare the 2015 unclaimed property report and file the same with the comptroller prior to July 1st, 2015.
This is an annual item on your agenda. You are required to escheat the state any funds that you are not able to return to the rightful owner. I think it's unlikely that you have any, although it's possible that you have something like an event deposit and not be able to find the depositor to return it to, in which case you're required to send that to the state. So we put this on the agenda every year so that you authorize your bookkeeper to file it by, to go through and make sure you don't have any qualifying funds, and if you do, to file them by July 1st.
I'll make the motion to do that.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Carlisle and a second by Director Hessen. Is there any discussion?
Well, not about that.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is announcements. Is there anybody that would like to make an announcement?
Is that what I'll bring that up? Well, I want to announce that last Monday at the Roman Forest Police Department's awards and recognition dinner, we gave EMCID one of the 4 certificates of appreciation, which is in the form of a plaque. And there's something that Kelly put online, did a news release on. It has the exact numbers, but we've received a lot of money from EMCID at the Roman Forest Police Department, and it's helped drastically, and EMCID deserves recognition for that. So thank you.
Any other announcements?
I got a question. Is that thing?
Sure.
When Barry Welch was here, he said that, I don't even know how much that check was, but he said he was going to go back and see if there was any money left out of that security money that we had given them.
From the safe shopper?
Right.
I think it was determined it comes out of the same line item, right? So he didn't need to do that. Yeah.
So it was the same thing?
It's the same line item, so I understand, right?
The only announcement I really have to make is that next Tuesday is the Montgomery County Day at Austin, put on by the Chamber. I don't know if it's too late to sign up to go if you've not already gone. I'm going to be going representing the district. I don't think any of the other directors are signed up to go. You are going to go? Great. I'll have a buddy. The bus will leave at 6 o'clock in the morning and return hopefully by 7:30. Never mind, I don't have a buddy.
They'll put you in bed down here, man. You sleep out there. Maybe I'm driving. Oh, no. I'm glad I ain't going.
All right, are there any other announcements? Yes, you would like,
get this turned on March 30th, Monday, from 7 to 9 o'clock at Lone Star College, Kingwood, which actually is in New Caney School District, but as you know, since the city of Houston annexed us, we're not in the EMCID area. However, we are conducting a deliberative dialogue around guns on campus, and it will be led by our student leaders with our Center for Civic Engagement, and it will be a constructive dialogue. It is not a debate, but it is open to students, employees, and community members.
and Catherine, what time is that?
From 7 p.m. to 9.
7 p.m., thank you. Yes, Lou.
I believe this weekend is the Samuel Taylor Memorial Skeet Shoot.
Is it this?
That's supposed to be at Danny Pagan's property out there on Fostoria Road. You probably need to bring your rain tents and everything else, the way the weather's going to be. But come out, support. It's a great cause. Support. They do a tremendous job in scholarships, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
It's the 28th.
28. Yeah, it's the 28th.
Is it? Oh, it's next weekend. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm a week ahead of myself, and maybe it will be pretty.
You don't want that one, would you?
I don't want that one.
Okay, are there any other announcements?
One more,
Yes.
let's not forget about our spring extravaganza next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Next Thursday at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Kevin. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Also remember the community development grants are due by 5 o'clock Monday, March the 30th.
Monday, March the 30th, community development grants. So if anybody in the audience knows anybody that wants to apply for a grant, tell them they have till Monday the 30th at 5 o'clock to get the applications in. Yes, and I would also like to say thank you to Catherine Pearson. This past Tuesday, we had our very first community awareness
Town hall
type meeting, and Director Pearson actually she hosted it at Lone Star College, and that is a town hall type meeting that we're going to be doing each month and going to each community, different communities throughout our district. And it was very good turnout for a very first meeting, and it was a very good meeting. So I want to thank you for allowing us and having us there.
The next one's going to be in Cumberland, right?
The next one will be in Cumberland. Do we have a date set?
April 13th.
April 13th, thank you. So April 13th in Cumberland, I'm going to guess at 6:30? 7 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Is there any other announcements? Okay, then we will adjourn to executive session once I read the whole sentence. Recess to executive session to discuss real property matters pursuant to section 551.072 Texas Government Code pending or contemplated litigation pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code matters in which the duty of the attorney to the district under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with chapter 551 Texas Government Code pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code and economic development negotiations pursuant to section 551.087 Texas Government Code. And we will recess to executive session.
He likes me.
That's because he's a B.O.Y.
I'm not up there. It was so stuffy.
You don't want to get him in trouble.
Should have done it.
Light bulb here to put me on around there.
Well, if you broke everyone, he's dead.
At least they can have all the Go back a little bit.
Just take the hat off and come.
Adrian Garcia? Where'd all the people go?
They actually apologized that they left, but they left about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, Carter Johnson
Can't
just,
even give y'all a response, a job to do, you run the people off.
Chief Johnson sent me a text saying that please tell the board thank you, that he needs to go put his kids to bed.
Okay.
Mine goes off constantly.
I got to work this stuff here.
I go from one phone to another constantly.
Okay, we are back at 7:58.
He gets to.
Hello? Hey, we're back in session. 7:58. The next item on our agenda is to consider status of the development of the district's 12.85 acre site, including the construction of improvements and the leasing of space in the district's office building, and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith, including status of condemnation by TxDOT relative to Grant Parkway.
And the only thing to report on that is we're still working with the proceedings as far as somewhere to relocate if that's going to be necessary. Working with several different sites that the building could or organization could be relocated to, and then also working with the Zachary Odebrecht and TxDOT in regards to the status of the building. And with that, we'll know more as time moves forward, but nothing really to report today.
Okay. The next item will be to consider the report on activities within the industrial park and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith, including the status of sale of dirt at a future detention pond, including status of contract with TDG for evacuation and delivery of dirt, status of, you would do all of them at one time? Go ahead and read them all.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll
Through
just go.
H?
Yeah.
Okay. The status of contract with Quadvest Construction for construction of roads to serve Section 3. Approval of plans and specifications and authorized advertisement for bids relative to construction of roads to serve Section 4. Status of plat of Section 3 and Section 4. Status of contract with Quadvest Construction for construction of wastewater lift station. Status of contract with Quadvest for water distribution and wastewater collection facilities to serve industrial park, Section 3. That's what we started.
Well, the first item, the contract with TDG for the dirt. Frank continues to work with several of the landowners out there. And as they make their final decisions, we will then work with TDG to show them where they need to take the dirt out of what will become the detention and mitigation basins that will serve sections 3 and 4. Item B, status of contract with Quadvest Construction, construction of the road. Item D, E, and F.
It's on my phones.
Are all of those are the same contractor, Quadvest. The contracts are out to them at this point for their bonding, insurance, and signatures. Once we get all that back, the attorney will check to make sure that their bonding and insurance is current. And then we'll take that to, I think a couple of these contracts are with the Mud 3. We will sign these contracts and put them into motion.
None of these.
But they're all, okay, so we'll bring them to the board here for your signature. Item D, status of plat for sections 3 and 4. We are to the point where we're ready to submit that to the county. We are waiting, however, for a slight variation that may happen with a roadway alignment. And once that is final determination, then we'll submit the plat. That takes care of the items that I need to talk about. Did you just see?
For the bids. Advertising.
For the construction to serve section 4, we're waiting for land plan on that. We've got the plans about 90% complete on that. And once that road decision is made, we can finalize those plans and then we can put it out to bid. We're probably looking at 30 to 60 days to get that project out to bid. And a lot of that, we're working with Frank, of course, with purchases and get that out as quickly as we can as that land is purchased.
Thank you very much.
Greg, when are they going to start construction on any of this? You don't have no idea?
We have a dirt, the Mud 3 has a dirt contract that the roadway itself, all of that dirt that comes out of with excavation will come up. We will build the road bed with that dirt. So of course we can't do the roadway until we get that road bed done. We also are working to get the two contractors together to get that water and wastewater done as quickly as possible. But again, that road bed is important to get that done. We are looking to get the lift station started as soon as possible. That's not really dependent upon any dirt and fill in the area. So that one will probably go first, and then we'll move the other two in conjunction with the dirt contract. So to answer your question, shorter answer, we'll start the first of this probably within the next 30 days. We'll start the lift station.
Or dry weather?
That's all. But we can build the lift station without a whole lot of that. The access to it is pretty decent. The others, yeah, we need dry weather.
Thank you.
A lot of it.
Mark.
Yes.
What did you, I couldn't hear you. What was it, the holdup on digging that retaining pond?
Item A,
Yes.
the future detention pond, that's an item that is dependent upon sale of dirt.
Well, I thought some people were already wanting to buy dirt.
I believe there is some developers out there that want to buy dirt. We're working with them along with Frank to get that dirt sold to them. I'm meeting with one of them tomorrow with their architect, and we'll see what their time frame is. But it's not us or EMCID that's holding them up. It's a decision that the landowner has to make.
Okay, I was just wondering, because if we keep putting that offer, doesn't happen, they're going to go buy that dirt from somebody else if they want it bad enough, and we're going to lose that sale.
Yeah, we're not the ones that's holding that up. It's holding them as to what their plans are for it. We're ready to give them dirt tomorrow if they want the dirt.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Okay, and Frank's advised me there's nothing to report on G, H, or I, so that completes item number 8. We'll move on to item number 9, which is to consider review and approval of incentive agreement with Saints and Sinners Brewing Company and the taking of any action required in connection therewith.
And this is a a small microbrewery company that's looking to move to the area. It's called Saints and Sinners Brewing Company. They purchased the Old Victory Christian facility off of Sorters. You may notice some construction is already going on with the project, and they're in the process of getting moved in and making renovations to the building. They're going to be making their own type of beer, new type of business in our area. And with it, one of the things we're looking about doing is providing some incentive agreement for them. We've been visiting with them for a while. What we're looking at doing is providing $15,000 incentive agreement, and in doing so, they'll create 3 positions for employment from individuals within our area of the employees that they'll need to hire. They will do that within a 2-year period once they're up and operating by October 15th of 2015. So between that date and October 15th, 2017, their commitments to hire 3 individuals from the area. Most significant thing about it is we're taking a piece of property that previously was not paying any taxes and putting it in a position where it's now a taxable piece of property being utilized by small business in the future. Their equipment purchases are roughly around $661,000 in equipment, and the total project is about $1.1 million is what they're looking at investing in the community by revitalizing that facility and then getting it up and operating. They should be up and operating by October of this year. These funds are not available from them until we go out and do an on-site inspection and have the opportunity to see that they're up and operating. So what we're proposing is $15,000 in incentive funds for them. In addition, we're looking for them to contribute $5,000 back to the district in regards to a $1,000 donation every year for a 5-year period upon execution of the contract. So those are the parameters of what we'd like to do to help them get where they need to be. They've had some challenges in regards to water and sewer, and they're looking at doing out-of-district services since they're right at the edge of the city limits of Houston. They're looking at providing a facility where it gives a means for the city of Houston to do out-of-district services, provide those services for the business to get them accelerated and getting the project on the ground. So that's what we're looking at doing with this project.
Do we need a motion? Do we need a motion to? Yes. All right, so we have a motion by Director Pearson and a second by Director Carlisle. And is there any further discussion?
Exactly what basketball is this church?
Right by Bronco Heavy Haul. Bronco Heavy Haul on Sorters Road. Where North Park and Sorters meet.
Yeah.
Right down
If you
the
turn
road.
left, if you're at North Park and Sorters Road, turn left and it's on the right hand side.
Right down from Lone Star College. Yeah.
It's before you
Probably
get-
not,
yeah.
not even a mile,
Right.
probably.
What's the story about that? Okay.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor? And it's unanimous. Thank you.
When are they gonna start on this?
They've already started.
Okay.
They've already started demolition of the building. They're already selling stuff out of the building. So if you need any church facilities or anything from a previous church, I know that they're selling stuff out of the building. So
Do they have any benches?
say again.
Do they have any benches?
I would recommend going by there. Might be an opportunity. So
Tomorrow morning.
I would swing by and introduce yourselves. That might be a good opportunity.
It's got to be good. I used to play in a band called the Saints and Sinners.
Martin, I don't know what you haven't done. Oh my goodness.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is to consider review and approval of incentive agreement with Splendora 2090 Property LLC or its assignees and the taking of any action required in connection therewith.
This is a project we've been working with an Exxon station. It's going to be located at the corner of Goodson Road and 2090 up in Splendora. They purchased a 2-acre tract. They're going to be building a 4,300 square foot facility, and of it, they're looking at hiring 8 to 9 part-time individuals to work at the facility. You see a copy of it up on the screen there. Kind of gives you a layout of what it will look like, the way that it's situated in landscaping. So with it, the commitment is they'll start construction by July 15 of this year, and then be completed by the end of December in this year. So they should be up and operating by December. One of the things that we're working with them is providing $10,000 in incentive funds to go ahead and get the project moving and get it completed. And then, and that's presented upon opening, so it'll be in the December timeframe. The sooner they get open, the sooner they can have access to our funds. And then secondly, in the second year agreement, if they maintain 30% of their employees are hired from within the district, we'll go out and do an employee census. If in fact they hire 30% of their employees from the local area, we'll provide an additional $5,000 in the second year for them. So that's what we're proposing to provide for an incentive basis for them to get started. And once again, they should be up and operating by the end of December 2015.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion by Director Pearson, a second by Director Carlisle. And is there any further discussion on this matter?
Do they have any other stations that you know outside this one, or are they like a company or?
They do have, they're investors. The name of the company, Splendor 2090 Property LLC, or 2090 Property Operating. That is specific companies that were set up just for this site. Of the individuals that are members of that LLC, they do have other stations, but they're together with other groups and other individuals. So it's not these same people together on other stations. They're partners with other groups, and that's just how they're structured. So, but that's who they are, and that's what they do.
So if that's all the discussion, all in favor? It's unanimous, thank you. Okay, the next item is review and consider amendment of lease agreement with Lone Star College Academy for lifelong learning and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith.
This was just a request from Lone Star College. As you all know, we have the Academy for Lifelong Learning located in one wing of our building here. And it's not a substantial revenue producing program for the college. However, it provides a tremendous benefit for the seniors in our area. And a lot of y'all, and even I, know individuals that attend there. And it gives them somewhere to go and some opportunities to interact with others. And it's just a great program for our area. So helping out the college, they'd approached us in regards to doing a reduction in the lease of our facility. They're currently paying $4,000 a month, and going through their budgeting process and budgeting cycle, not generating a lot of revenue for that project, we proposed reducing the rent to $1,500 a month, and that was the request that we presented, and I think the college was agreeable to doing that.
I'll make that motion that we do that.
I second it.
Okay, so we have the motion by Director Carlisle and the second by Director Zepeda.
I'd like to make a comment, and that's I'll abstain, even though this part of the college operations is not under my control, it's under our system office. But with all citizens paying about $20 a year for the programming, and considering that it has a full-time paid director and rent, the college is losing about $100,000 a year on this program. But we think it's been worthwhile, so we appreciate the motions that have been made.
After hearing everything you do here, I think it's an excellent thing. So I think we're already contributing, but I think we can contribute more. That's why I jumped on the chance to make that motion.
And it's beneficial to our seniors, because that's who attends the classes is the seniors, and that's a way of giving back to the community for the seniors.
Now I'm gonna check into that quilting program.
I won't focus.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, so we have 7 approved and 1 abstention. Thank you.
Can we make a motion that we put his quilting pictures on Facebook?
The next item on the agenda is to consider annual review of resolution adopting prevailing wage rate scale for construction projects and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith.
I move that we check the prevailing wage rates.
Okay, we have a motion on the table by Directors
You have to do that.
Rivera.
Saving some shit, man. Department of Labor.
Okay, so we have a motion by Director Ibarra.
Second.
Second, I heard this one by Director Dale Martin. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. The next item on the agenda is to consider status of preparation of demographic study by LDP on placement of splash pad park within the district and the taking of action of any any actions required in connection therewith.
Once again, this is an update in regards to what we're doing with the consultant in regards to looking at splash pad locations in the district. She's scheduled to come over and meet with us, have a workshop during the week of the 13th of April. Once I have that specific date, I'll get that out to you guys as far as having a workshop to sit down and visit with her and look at how we want to proceed with placing some splash pad projects across the district. So that's kind of where we are in regards to that.
Is that when we're going to have a chance to bring up potential locations?
Anything you guys want to discuss with her, that's a workshop. That's your opportunity to interact with her and give her guidance of what you want her to accomplish also.
What are we gonna come up with these? Are we gonna come up with 5 places or whatever we need to come up with?
Yes. At that point, we can point her in the right direction and kind of give her some guidance. You know, once again, it's for you guys to tell her what you expect. She'll come back with a work product for you to review, and then we can base our decisions from what she has for you.
Frank, am I correct in understanding that we're talking about 2 sites?
She initially had asked us for 5 sites, and of
I'm
those,
talking about 2 splash pads.
yeah, we had originally talked about two splash pads to start. You know, it doesn't mean that we can't do some more in the future, but initially we talked about 2 sites in the district to start with. Okay. And once again, I think what her thought was, well, give me 5, and then maybe if you have 1 or 2 that doesn't make sense, you know, then we have others that we can choose from. So I think that was kind of what she was looking for. Let's look at some, and then 1 or 2 may not make sense.
So we're starting with 2 sites?
Yes.
From my understanding, we were starting with a big site and the 2 smaller sites. I thought we talked about 3.
I mean,
it's all open for discussion.
And once again, it's you know, you guys can decide where we want to go with this, because I think it's a great thing our community is going to embrace, and a great thing for our kids in the future. So.
Okay. All right, the next item is to consider status of incentive agreement regarding construction of Taco Cabana and the taking of any actions required in connection therewith.
And once again, that should be back to us within a week. I visited with their attorney this week, and they'll have that agreement back to us here probably within the next 7 days or so. So everything's fine with them. Looking at opening in the next 30, 45 days. I think actually the Pollo Tropical is a little bit further ahead on completion than Taco Cabana. And so that's kind of where we are with those agreements. Both of those are signed by the same group, Fiesta Restaurant Group, up in Dallas.
Are they going to do the grand opening together, or are they going to?
They haven't decided yet. We'll be involved in that and be there since we're instrumental in getting them, get all those deals put together. So we'll be there and be involved in that process.
Okay, so you've touched on the Pollo Tropical, which is item number 15. Do they have an opening time scheduled? They're a little ahead.
They're a little bit ahead. They're probably 30 to 45 days also. Okay. So they're close, and it's the same group that brought in both projects.
Okay, thank you. The next item is to consider approval of development agreement with Jeffco Development Corp. and sponsor agreement with TxDOT regarding construction of drainage and detention facilities for retail center and expansion of Loop 494.
Yeah, nothing to update in regards to that project right now.
Okay. And the last item on the agenda is to consider matters for possible placement on future agendas. There's nothing.
Well, I got one. I'd like to revisit and rediscuss the idea of reviewing our large professional services. I think some of us were clear on what we were all talking about. We were all going off in different directions. If we can discuss it again, I think it'll make a lot more sense.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, I'd like to thank you all for coming out and attending. And thank you, sir. We are adjourned. And it is 8:20.
Opening day, baseball, Saturday, Braves 8, Auctions 10,